The final score, Harrogate Town 2, Wrexham 2. I'm Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC. Oh, that was galling, really irritating game that. We had control of it, 2-0 up in the closing moments of the first half, and we let it slip through our fingers. All credit to Harrogate for coming back, staying in the game as they did. And in the second half, they could easily have nicked it. But that was a frustrating game. The teams around Wrexham dropped points, which I guess is a good thing in a way. Only Notts County of the teams around us actually won. But on the other hand, it makes those 2 points feel like a bit of a missed opportunity. Anyway, Wrexham made one change. Anthony Ford, of course, is injured after Saturday's match. And so Jacob Mendy, who was terrific on the right-hand side, replacing him on Saturday, he came in again on the right. The first opportunity of the match was a strange mistake at the back by Wrexham, which frankly would be prescient of what was going to come. Second minute, long ball played forward. Tozer left it, so I assume he thought it was going to carry through to the keeper. Didn't realise that March, the one change in the Harrogate team from Saturday, was in behind him, and he had an opportunity one-on-one with Okonkwo, but from a very tight angle. He hit it early, and Okonkwo saved it at his near post. And that was pretty much it from Harrogate until the very end of the first half. Wrexham took control. Our passing was good. Our movement was good. It was pleasing to see. It wasn't quite Morecambe standard, but it was. You could see the similarities were there. Mullin was troubling them. Lee was darting about. Cannon was very impressive. Evans was using the ball with economy. And both wing-backs, particularly McLean, were getting forwards well and getting into threatening positions. Palmer was getting into positions where he could attack things in the box as well, and Harrogate were totally starved of possession. So a very pleasing start, and we were unlucky not to take a 7th minute lead. A free kick on the edge of the area. Mullin put it over the wall with pace, and it was pushed away by the goalkeeper. Not the best parry, really. Came out, he pushed it right back into the danger zone. Andy Cannon got to it, and he lashed a shot in. This was a good save. Did really well to react again and push it clear. And then the rebound, when it worked out to the flank, was fed back in once more. And Mullen's strike again was stopped by the keeper. Frustration for Wrexham there. And then it's sort of, the game started petered out a bit in terms of goalmouth incident. Wrexham stayed on top, but we stopped creating opportunities. And you just started to feel a little concerned that maybe this was one of those days where we'd look good and not actually put the other side to the sword. But after the half-hour mark, Wrexham did start to cause issues and make opportunities. A lovely move ended with Lee popping the ball in, scooping it to Mullin, who has lovely technique, took it on his chest, and then as it dropped, casually volleyed the ball neatly to Lee, who carried on his run down the left. He pulled in a great cross to the far post. Palmer just beaten to it. What a goal that would have been if it had gone in. And within a minute, another near thing. Corner swept into the far post. A defender headed the ball back into the danger area where Hayden did really well to get up 6 yards out with no run on the ball because he just attacked the corner and did beautifully to just place a looping header over the keeper who dived down low to his left and made a terrific save. I mean, to be fair, Harrogate owed something of a debt to their keeper, Mitchell. A second very good save in the opening half. Wrexham then were caught out on the breakaway. Oddo working the ball out to March, who drove the ball into the danger area. Muldoon was there and hit the shot from 6 yards, but Hayden got a crucial block on it. Mendy did well to stick with him as well and maybe put him off a bit, and the ball bounced to safety. And 2 minutes later, Wrexham had the lead. An error by Dooley in midfield gifted Wrexham the ball on the left flank. Palmer fed McLean on the left. He drove in a flat cross back towards the edge of the area, and Andy Cannon attacked it and side-footed it into the bottom right corner. Lovely finish by him. He tried to claim the goal last Saturday, didn't he? The own goal by Joel Senior. That was never a Cannon goal. This one most certainly was his first goal for Wrexham. A lovely finish. And 4 minutes later, we had a second, and now it looked like the floodgates were going to open. Tozer with a long throw. Harrogate hadn't really dealt with balls into the box very well in the first half, and they let this one bounce, and that was fatal. Palmer helped it on. Mullin, 6 yards out, bouncing high and behind him, somehow managed to improvise the most brilliantly acrobatic assist to hook his foot round the back of himself and flick it with his back of his heel over his own shoulder, where Lee neatly latched onto it and slashed it home from close range. And I've got to be honest, the game felt done then. Wrexham had been well on top, shown real control. Harrogate only intermittently really getting into Wrexham's half, and 2 up, you sort of felt, okay, we'll go on now and win this convincingly. However, we had a sloppy moment at the back in the 45th minute, which allowed Harrogate back into the game. Long ball forwards, Mendy let it bounce, and then let Muldoon, who, to be fair, is a canny character, get between him and ball and muscle him off it. Mendy had to be stronger, I think, in that situation. He squared it into the D, and Cornelius drove in a shot into the bottom left corner. Concord with no chance, and it was level. Within a minute, Wrexham went close. We went straight back on the front foot. Cannon hit a shot in, which was blocked. It came out to George Evans, who, having a sighter for something he'd try 6 minutes later, lashed in a 25-yarder, which just whistled over the bar. In the 4th minute of added time was a mistake by the referee, which may well have been crucial. Cornelius, the midfielder who'd scored for Harrogate, fouling O'Connor, it had to be a red card. I mean, I say mistake. I shouldn't say that. If the ref wasn't in a position to see it clearly, he can't give the red card, can he? But it was a red card. O'Connor stretched to make a ball. Cornelius went in over the top, stood showing and stamped down on him, his leg halfway up his shin. It's a red card. It's really, really poor challenge. Cornelius hurled himself to the floor and pretended to be injured. And one of those, oh, look at this, ref, maybe I was fouled. Ooh, it was just an accident performances. He was fine. It was a red. He knew it, and he was hoping to hoodwink the ref, and he, well, either succeeded to, or the ref didn't see it clearly and didn't get enough support from his other officials. But Harrogate extremely lucky there, and we're also lucky when, as I said, Evans, after that sighter, had another shot, an absolute screamer. I mean, you can't hit it any better than that. From a good 25, 30 yards out, which smashed against the post high up, and bounced back down again. Remarkable effort from the resulting corner. Wrexham drove on, and Cannon had a good, powerful, on-target shot from the edge of the area, which was blocked. Wrexham went into the break then 2-1 up and a little frustrated. There was also a concern. Arthur Okonkwo had taken a blow to the jaw halfway through the half. It was actually an excellent piece of goalkeeping. The ball was whipped in. O'Connor and March were trying to attack it 6 yards out. Okonkwo just came from nowhere. I mean, typical of his agility and the length of his stride, and managed to pop up and grab it before it reached either of them. It was astonishing. But he took a blow in the chin in doing so from March. Accidental, totally accidental. March had been booked, but absolutely no intention whatsoever in it. Okonkwo needed lengthy treatment and then had to have another spell of treatment late in the half. He came in at half-time, and the medical staff felt that he was dazed and shouldn't continue. So Mark Howard came on for the second half, and just over a minute after the restart, he conceded a goal, although no blame can be put on Howard for it. A free kick conceded. Wrexham having a really skittish start of the half, struggling to get a ball clear on the edge of the area. Then it was handled. A free kick was swept in by Thompson. Good delivery, but Wrexham will be very annoyed that Anthony O'Connor was able to get between the centre-backs and head a ball cleanly inside the right post. No chance for Howard, and Harrogate were level. And the second half was different. Harrogate felt like they were a little bit higher up the pitch, were getting closer to Wrexham. They were certainly winning the second balls, and we suddenly couldn't get our passing rhythm going. Harrogate were hassling us, and they started making the chances. 5 minutes after the goal, Ramsey pulling the ball back towards the edge of the area, and a shot driven in from the edge of the box by Oddo just off target. Wrexham had a couple of opportunities early in the half, but they were both well over the bar. The first one came after a terrific first touch by Mullen, but after Cannon nodded it down. But there's a chance down the right channel, but he lashed at it one-on-one with the keeper, put it well over. And then a nice move, Lee feeding Mullen, helping it on to Cannon on the right, but again, he didn't keep his shot down from 25 yards. At the other end, Harrogate were more threatening. Folds hitting a great shot from distance, which just scraped the bar. Though, to be fair, Howard had it covered. Wrexham made changes we had to in the 69th minute because the game we weren't getting back on top of it. Palmer was replaced by Dalby. Cannon was replaced by James Jones. And, well, initially, there wasn't much impact, but Wrexham did start to get the momentum going. And in the last 10 minutes, Davis coming on for Lee as well, later on, Wrexham did start to put some pressure on and had a couple of chances to win it. James Jones, who did well off the bench, feeding Mullin. He helped it on to Dalby in the right channel, 10 yards out, smashed it with power, looking to blast it under the bar. Superb tip over by Mitchell. And then from that corner, the ball cleared out to James Jones, who we know's got a good strike on him from about 20 yards. He hit it with power into the crowd. Dalby swung a foot at it. If he'd got any contact on it, he probably would have deflected it into the net. But as it was, the ball missed him and went just wide of the left post. And yeah, Wrexham couldn't argue, really. By far the better team in the first half. Victory looked like a formality. But victory is never a formality if you don't kill a team off. And credit to Harrogate for the way that they showed heart in fighting back and getting the point. Looking at the performances, well, I mean, Okonkwo and then Howard didn't really have much to do. You couldn't blame either of them for the goals either. Across the back, I thought the pick of the three was O'Connor, who had a good contest in the second half, battling away with the strikers, particularly March, and I thought came out of it well. Tozer did okay too in the middle, and Hayden, who had a couple of hairy little moments, but certainly was strong late on, driving play forwards and winning challenges. The wing backs, I mean, like so many players, I'm going to have to say, game of two halves. McLean in the first half was causing real issues, getting up the pitch and putting pressure on, getting crosses into the box, picking up an assist. Not so much in the second half when he seemed to be chasing shadows sometimes, trying to chase the ball and getting bypassed really easily. On the other side, Mendy had didn't do well with the first goal, in all honesty. Didn't quite drive it his man as he often does from fullback either. And yeah, it was adequate, but he didn't really hit the heights, certainly not the heights of last Saturday, when he was magnificent. In the centre midfield, by man of the match is George Evans. I thought he anchored things superbly. His passing was excellent. Technically, he's a fine player. He went close with those first half shots as well. In the second half, when things were falling apart, he was still steady on the ball. He wasn't panicking. He wasn't giving it away. Really good performance, I thought, by Evans. Ahead of him, Lee was excellent in the first half. Faded a bit in the second, in all honesty, and you can see why Davis replaced him. And on the other side, the right-hand side of midfield, again, Cannon very good in the first half, very aggressive on the front foot, winning balls back, making interceptions, but in the second half had less impact, was shrugged off the ball a bit too easily sometimes. James Jones came on, and Jones, with fresh legs with 20 minutes left, made a big difference. I thought Jones was very industrious, played some really good progressive passes as well, and was aggressive. Had that shot just off target. I thought he did very well. Up front, Mullin looked sharp, but after a good first half by him, he didn't get much service in the second half, really. He'd have been disappointed to have missed the chance he had just after the equaliser when he drove the ball well over the bar. But he looked lively. His movement was good. He was looking to make things happen. Palmer started off well, but faded a little bit. Again, not that much to work with, but he didn't trouble the centre-backs as much as he can. And again, Dalby coming on for a 20-minute stint, he did enliven proceedings. So, frustrating, genuinely frustrating for Wrexham. But it's an away point, and we just have to take that, put it behind us, and move on with it. With a final score of Harrogate Town 2, Wrexham 2, I'm Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC.